Scott, thank you for joining us. One to go for the regular season anyway. We'll be hoping to make it a big one here at the Broadfield Stadium. Can I get your thoughts ahead of that one?
Yeah, let's hope it's not the last one, eh? So, big game, obviously. One to go, and we're really focused. We know what we've got to do now. We just got to win the game and see where the land lies at the end of the game, and let's hope that results go for us and we're in there. We've put a lot of effort in this season. A lot of hard work has gone in from everybody behind the scenes, all the staff, the back office, the players, obviously, and it will be a real sense of achievement getting in that last place. So we know what we've got to do. We're really focused on it, and we're looking forward to the game.
Yeah, we'll obviously be focusing on ourselves, but I'm sure on Tuesday there was a few eyes on the other games. I'm not sure if you went to any yourself, but I'm sure there was a few eyes on that one, and it sort of puts us at ease in terms of we know what we've got to do. We know we've got to win to get in those places. Obviously, some results have to go away as well, but there's a good chance that we get in there if we win. So the plan is even easier now, isn't it? It's just to go out there, be professional and win the game.
Yeah, it's very simple. Win the game, and there's a lot that's got to happen for us not to get in. So we've just got to win our game and concentrate on that. Of course, we'll have an eye on the results. I think we have to from a tactical point of view. But yeah, just win the game. And we're really focused on that. I went to the game on Tuesday night, Colchester-Doncaster, and me and Jamie Day cheered when Colchester scored quite early, but of course wasn't to be. And fair play to Doncaster. But like I say, there's some nervy finishes to the season from not teams above, really. So let's just see what happens. But we just got to focus on us.
Does it make your team talk on Saturday afternoon, about 10 to 3, that little bit easier? Because the goal is obviously to get in those playoff places, and as you say, we need a win to get in there. So does it make it a little bit easier, and are the lads sort of fully focused on that already throughout the week?
Well, I think team talks are never easy. I think that you've got to try and get a balance of what your message is. Whilst I don't want my team to be nervy, I want us to still play our way. But I also want us to be aggressive. You look at the last game where I felt we were aggressive to a point in the first 20 minutes certainly, and we get to the point of putting the ball in the net, and then we became nervy in the last moment. So it's important that we hold our nerve, we do our job properly, and I'm sure if we do that, we'll be fine.
Yeah, and the lads, I'm sure, will be ever professional approaching this game. We're going to have a big crowd, and they can have a real impact in games like this, can't they? There's, as we've been saying all week, it's sort of one final push together, and together we could achieve a really, really great goal, considering everybody had us as favourites to go down at the start of the season.
Exactly. No, it's going to be a really positive day. We're gonna come in and really look forward to the game, and I'll look forward to walking out and seeing the fans. They've been fantastic all season. The players enjoy playing here. I know that for a fact. The fans get behind them really well, home and away, mind. But no, we're hopeful that it's going to be a really positive finish to the day, and we can celebrate, getting through, and then we've got to then focus on what's next. But yeah, a day I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, we've spoken a lot about the hard work from everybody behind the scenes. It's not just sort of yourself and the 11 players, and the substitutes that come on. There's a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes. So I suppose it would mean a lot for everybody, wouldn't it, at this club to sort of get into those playoff places, which I suppose adds some extra motivation as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of work goes in, a lot of work that, there'll be a lot of people in the background that the fans don't even know about, who put a lot of work in. And they've got to deal with me as well, which is never easy. I want to do well because I'm a winner, but I also want to do well because I know how much work everybody's put in. The players have been fantastic throughout the season. They've really taken on the information and executed it brilliantly for me. And there's been some players who have not played at this level of football, certainly the amount of games they've played, so credit to them. But credit to the staff as well. The staff have been fantastic. They've put a lot of hours in. We travel in every morning. We're setting off from my house at 6 o'clock every morning. We're working all day. And everybody's put a lot of effort in. So I want to do well for them as well, for everybody that has put the work in, because I think, you only get out of football, as my dad used to say, you only get out of football what you're prepared to put into it, and we've certainly put a lot of effort in, and let's hope we get the rewards.
Yeah, let's hope we get the rewards. But regardless of what happens on Saturday, it has been a great season. The fans will agree, you know, from the position we were in last year, excitement on the final days of the season, but for the complete opposite reason. Other than that, in the past decade, you know, Crawley haven't had that sort of end of season excitement. By now, the sort of season's done and dusted. But to be fighting at this end of the table is, you know, it's incredible, and it has been a great season all round, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'd hate it if we're sitting here, you know, with one game to go and there's nothing to play for. You know, I would hate that. I think that it's a good feeling. Last year was, you know, not so good in the fact of we had to get the right amount of points in order for us to keep in this division. So it was a different feeling. This feeling's different now in terms of it's more positive. It's more like, you know we can extend our season if we win, and obviously we've got to rely on one or two things to happen as well. And if we extend the season, we know we've got a real chance because our back us against anybody over 2 games. And if we get through, I certainly back us at Wembley the way we play. And this is the message that I've been telling the players, and I firmly believe that. And no, you're right, we've had a good season, but let's not sit here saying we've had a really good season because we've finished 10th or 11th or whatever we finish. I want to finish in that 7th spot if we can. If not, I'll take a 6th.
Thanks, Scott.
Scott, people will look at Grimsby and say, got nothing to play for, home banker and that. It's never going to be that simple, is it?
I wish, yeah. It's never, I don't know one team that's ever took the foot off the gas, ever, in the history of football. It's never happened. In actual fact, the fact that they're safe makes them probably play with a bit more freedom than they have done. And then makes for a harder game, right? So we know we're not taking them for granted. We'd never do that. You know, and I know the manager ain't gonna turn up and take his foot off the gas. They'll be, you know, full throttle, and it's going to be a tough game. And by the way, they're not a bad side. Let me tell you that now. They're not where they should be. So we've just got to be at our best, and we've got to really focus on ourselves and focus on what we need to do in the game.
And you mentioned earlier a bit nervy on Saturday, and I think edgy was the word you used after the game. How do you manage that? How do you take that out of the players' minds about being nervy and edgy? Because it's quite a natural thing, isn't it, for someone to get a bit nervous on such a big occasion. How do you, as a manager, take that out of them?
Well, I think what we do is we focus on us in terms of how we're going to play, how we're going to win the game, how we're going to attack them, how we're going to defend against them. And we get the game plan in place, and we get the players to really focus on that, which may take away kind of their edginess, their nerves, because they're really focused on what their job is. So that's important that we do that. I think that looking at the squad, you know, we're quite inexperienced, so there's not many players in there that are being used to playing. I think this is game 53 now. There's not many players being used to playing that many amount of games during a season. So, you know, we're new to this. And they've done fantastic. The players have done great. And, you know, we have to accept that we're very young. We have to accept that they probably will be nervy. We've just got to make sure that they focus on their job. And whilst they're really focused on the job, they could be playing in front of 25,000 people, and it could be the, you know, whatever, World Cup final. But if they're focused on their job, it won't make a difference, and that's the thing, to really focus.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you'll be keeping an eye on the scores on Saturday because you have to, just possibly tactically. How is that going to work? Is there somebody in the stand? Is there somebody in the dugout? Have you got someone in your ear? How will that work?
I'll have my phone on me.
Yeah, you're just going to simple as that.
Yeah, I'll have my phone on me, and I'll probably have it on the scores live anyway. We've got iPads and all sorts of stuff in the dugout anyway, so we'll just probably have one of them connected up to the scores live, and we'll know what's going on throughout the game. I think it's important from a tactical point of view to see what's going on. It might mean a shift in shape or a shift in our tactics, depending on what's happening, depending on our scoreline as well, obviously.
And obviously you've been to a playoff final yourself. Where does this game rank in importance in your career?
Highest.
Yeah.
The highest, because, you know, I've been to a playoff final as an assistant manager. I'm now the manager, you know, so this is my team. You know, I'm in charge of this group of players, and I'm in charge of the group of staff, and it'd be a fantastic achievement if we was to, you know, win on Saturday, get into the playoffs. I think that's an achievement in itself. and people will want to celebrate that fact. But I know me, and me will want to win it. If we get in it, we want to then go on and win and get to Wembley. And then when I get to Wembley, I want to win that as well, because that's the way I'm built. And yeah, no, I think that this is as good as it's got for me in terms of my managerial career for sure, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah. And just a quick word on squad-wise, anyone unavailable for this weekend?
We've got a few little bits that we're just assessing back end of this week now. So I'm hopeful that we've got a full complement, but there's 2 players certainly that we're assessing as we go.
Yeah, and I just want to say on the record, whatever happens on Saturday, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you this year and watching you this year.
Thank you, same to you. Thank you.
Cheers.
Laurence, thank you for joining us. We've got a big game coming up this Saturday as we host Grimsby at the Broadfield Stadium. Can I get your thoughts ahead of that one?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. It should be a great game, and we've got an end goal and we know what we need to do. So yeah, that is obviously we're going out there to win the game and hopefully get us into the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the lads were sort of keeping a keen eye on the scores from Tuesday night. It obviously sets up sort of a very exciting game, as I said, on Saturday. With a win, obviously giving us a great chance to sort of qualify for those playoff places. So I suppose the job with one game left of the season is very clear, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's obviously there was a couple of big games on Tuesday night. For me personally, I wanted to just concentrate on us. I feel like going into the last game of the season, no matter what happened on Tuesday night, we need to win the game. So on Saturday, so obviously the results went okay for us, but in the long term, we need to go out there on Saturday and get the 3 points and see where we end up.
Yeah, reflecting on it, obviously you've joined us on loan for the season. It's been a really positive season. How much would it mean to you to sort of break into those playoff places with, especially with one game to go on the final day?
Yeah, it would mean everything. Obviously, when I first came here, we knew our targets, and that was behind the scenes. We wanted to get promoted. Obviously, we fell short in terms of the automatic places. We've had a great season. Obviously, we've overachieved compared to what people thought it would be like at the start of the season. But nothing's done yet, and our aim is to get in the playoffs now and show everyone that what we really can be. Yeah,
we spoke to Scott a lot through the season about motivation and how sort of building on wins can provide, really good motivation for lads heading into games, putting a good run of form together. But I suppose there is no bigger motivation, is there, than, reaching those playoff places?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, you can talk all you like, but there's only one thing, and that is to go out there and win the game. It's a massive motivational for all of us as players. We want to play as high as possible. And we've got a great opportunity to do that by going through the playoffs and getting promoted. And that all starts on Saturday by getting the 3 points, and hopefully come the end of the kick-off that we're in there. Yeah,
and obviously we have a big crowd here. We've didn't do too well in the two games with a bigger crowd, but the lads won't be focusing on that, will we? Because on Saturday the atmosphere is going to be great. Everybody's going to be sort of like combined into sort of one goal, which is reaching the playoffs, and the fans can have a big impact on how the lads play, can't they?
Yeah, since I've been here, the fans have been absolutely brilliant. Everywhere we've been, home and away, they've been great. They've been loud. They've sang songs, and it's been a massive boost for us throughout the season. So yeah, it's going to be a good atmosphere on Saturday, and hopefully they can bring the voices and sing us over the line.
Yeah, and I suppose from a personal point, you'll be looking to extend your Crawley Town loan spell by a few extra games as well. So you won't want it to end on Saturday, will you?
No, definitely. It's obviously it's weird because you say like to end on Saturday, and it just don't feel like it should end on Saturday. It's strange. We've done really well, and we're all looking at the end goal of having another 4 games. But yeah, it's football, and things can happen, and hopefully we're smiling come the end of the game.
Perfect.
Hi Laurence. How proud have you been this season? Like, because you guys have been relegation favourites start of the season, going into, but now you're obviously a chance to get into League One. How proud of you?
Yeah, really proud. Obviously, behind the scenes, we know we had a great squad here at the start of the season. The training, the way we played, the way we approach games, I knew personally that we were going to have a great season. But yeah, it's something to be proud of. But it would only be a good season if we can end it on a high, and that would be definitely to get into the playoffs, and then we can see where it takes us regarding the playoffs games and see if we can get promoted at Wembley.
Yeah, and obviously you're talking about the scores on Tuesday. You weren't really following it. Obviously, it's not in your hands anymore. There's some big games on Saturday. You got Crewe, Barrow, Doncaster. One of them lose or drop points, and you win. You get in the playoffs. How much are you going to be following them scores in them games?
No, it's something that we will just be concentrating on ourselves. I'm sure it will take care of itself in terms of the crowd. We'll be looking at the scores and maybe a few of the staff who are up in the stands and yeah, it's going to be one of them games that we just need to concentrate on ourselves. I feel like if we get the 3 points, I feel like more than likely we probably will be we'll make the playoffs. I feel like there's going to be a team who probably drops a point or a couple of points and it will change into our hands, and there'll be changes throughout the game. Obviously, if we go 1-0 up, there'll be games going on and this, that, and other. But no, the main thing for me is just to concentrate on ourselves, and we have to win the game. So if we win the game, I'm sure the other results will take care of themselves.
Yeah, and obviously your brother Harry Maguire has had a very good week, scoring in the FA Cup semi-final and again last night. How much inspiration are you taking off him into this game?
Yeah, definitely. It's something that throughout my career I've took a lot of advice from Harry, and we speak a lot about football, not just about me, but I speak to him about himself as well, how he can get better, and he speaks to me how I can get better. So yeah, he's had a really good season personally. He's hit a bit of form recently, and yeah, it was a proud moment for me and my family to be there on Sunday to see him score at Wembley, and yeah, he's doing great, and yeah, I'm sure we'll have a chat Friday night about what's going to happen on Saturday.
Yeah. Also talking about inspiration, Chesterfield, your parent club, have been promoted, obviously champions in a fantastic season. That was a while ago, but how much inspiration are you taking from them?
Yeah, they've done really well. Massive credit to everybody at the club, the players, the staff. It's a club that deserves to is a big club, and it deserves to be in the Football League. So yeah. It's an inspiration to see the club do really well, but for me, I'm just concentrating on myself and Crawley Town at the minute, because that's where I'm at, and I'm really looking forward to Saturday and hopefully getting in them playoff places. Yeah,
and I'm going into the game on Grimsby. Obviously, they have nothing to play on like you guys. How hard will it be to kind of stay professional, stay humble going into it when you know they have nothing to play for?
Yeah, it's tough because you never know really what type of game it's going to be like. Whether they make a few changes, whether they come full strength. It's a tough one, but you've just got to play your own game. We've prepared all week for how we want to play. We've had a good session out there today. The managers put a lot of principles and a lot of tactics into us, but we are fully concentrated on ourselves, and hopefully we can get the 3 points.
Lovely, thank you.
Liam, thank you for joining us. Obviously, it's one game to go. It's a nice big one here at the Broadfield Stadium. Can I get your thoughts as we prepare to face Grimsby?
Yeah, an exciting one for us, and sort of everyone involved really. Yeah, like you said, one game to go. We know what we have to do, win the game, and yeah, it's pretty simple really.
Yeah, we just spoke to Laurence. A few of the lads must have sort of been keeping a close eye on the scores for Tuesday night. It now sort of sets us up quite nicely for the game on Saturday. And as you say, a win with other results would get us into those sort of playoff places. How much do you think the squad deserves it? Because it's been a great season, you know, from everybody's relegation favourites to fighting for playoffs on the final day. It's been a pretty incredible year, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you'd have told all of us 45 games ago that we're one win away really from making the playoffs, I think we would have taken it. Yeah, and obviously everyone that's in and around it thinks they deserve it as well. But yeah, the work we put in from the staff to the players to everyone really. I think it'll just be a nice way to end the season if we can make the playoffs. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, and it's great motivation heading into the final game, isn't it? Because I think Crawley fans will agree with me here that over the sort of past maybe decade or so, we haven't had this excitement. Obviously, last year we did for different reasons, which, you know, we've moved on, you know, a long way since then. But the excitement of sort of building up to these final games with a lot to play for hasn't been there. So for them, it's going to be just as exciting, and it's great motivation, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%, especially like you said, obviously, with what went on last year, obviously I was the other end of it where I got relegated. The lads just stayed out of it. So it's a different sort of type of pressure that we're under. But I think the pressure comes from within the group because we know how good we are. So from the outside, we're probably not expected to be there. So, but yeah, it's a pressure within, but it's a nice pressure to have as a squad. And really, as a squad, we know what we have to do. It's quite simple. We've got to win. No matter what happens, we have to win to give ourselves a chance. So, yeah, it's simple, but it's going to be an enjoyable one.
Yeah, we know the gaffer obviously loves his tactics and everything, but I suppose the team talk just becomes a little bit easier, doesn't it, on Friday and especially Saturday before the game, because it is just a case of sort of, you know, let's keep it calm, let's sort of do our thing, and, you know, we just need a win, don't we? So I suppose in that way it takes that sort of pressure of knowing that you won't be having to check things during the game, and whereas sometimes on the final day you're obviously relying on a lot of other things. Where we are, we know that we need a win, so I suppose the lads will just be sort of fully focused on that and giving their all for the full 90 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. I think there'll be a game plan, obviously, and with the way we play, it's quite structured. But the gaffer will set us up the same way to try and win a game. But again, I think there'll be a little bit more freedom, hopefully, in the final third that we can use because we know we've got to win. But again, with that, we have to be defensively solid as well because we can't be chucking bodies forward and going for it and then we concede and then it's trying to climb a mountain. So we've got to be structured within that. But yeah, like you said, it's simple. We've got to try and win the game and as attackers, and it's going to be quite enjoyable.
Yeah, and the excitement's building. We've sold plenty of tickets. We're sort of approaching a sellout now here at the Broadwood Stadium. So I suppose the message to the fans would be get behind the players that you've been getting behind all season, and be loud because the fans can have a big impact, especially in games like this, can't they?
Yeah, 100%. I think the fans have been unreal all season, really. A few games recently, Colchester that comes to mind. Even on Saturday, I thought they were really, really good and helped us. Like when we scored, you can hear them all game. Really, you heard them. So yeah, it'll be another one where we need them, and yeah, it can make a massive difference.
Thank you, Liam.
Hi, you've already talked about the Tuesday results. Obviously, Barrow, Doncaster, and who's the other one? Colchester. That's one. And they obviously needing one of them to lose or drop points, so you get in. Will you be following them scores?
No, because I think as a squad, it's quite simple with what we've got to do. I think we know that we have to win now, so we can't really help other results. We've got to focus on ourselves, and that's the only thing that we can affect is our game and our results, so that's all we've got to do.
Yeah, and obviously it's been a bit of a patchy second half of the season. You've missed quite a few games through injury. Obviously, as a player as good as you are, how frustrating is that, not just for you, but for the club as well, that you miss these games? Yeah,
it was frustrating for me, but again, I think the lads were unbelievable through that time. I think we went on a run of, I don't know, Sam will know more, but we probably won 4 or 5. So it was a lot easier watching, and then coming back into it was nice as well. But yeah, as a player, you just want to play as many games as you can, really, and yeah, it's nice to be back out there.
Yeah, the last game obviously a 2-2 draw against Sutton. Maybe it looked like the pressure was getting to you guys. Like, as he's saying, like, feeling the pressure, you're obviously saying you enjoy it. Will it get to you on this weekend, or will you just ride over it?
No, probably not now, because I think the last few games, it's been in our hands in a way, because we've been 7th spot, and it's been in our hands. But now, being 8th and not being in our hands with other results needed, it's quite simple. We've just got to go out there and win, and hopefully that's what we can do.
Yeah, and obviously Grimsby survive relegation, have nothing to play for the rest of the season. How hard will it be to not be complacent, to stay professional and humble into the game?
Yeah, I don't think we can look into too much of them, because as footballers, no matter where you are, there's always a point to prove when you go out on the pitch. So even though they're safe and their boys will be, I don't know whether they're playing for contracts, playing for next season, whatever happens, they'll all be going out there with a point to prove. So it'll be another tough game. There's no easy game in League 2, and yeah, Grimsby will be coming to try and sort of make an upset in a way as well.
I love you. Thank you.
Thank you.